and welcome back to our channel. It's Sonia Miller here of Junk Monkey Paint Company. Thank you for joining us here on our vlog where we talk about junking and thrifting. We take you on our adventures, and like today we do DIYs as well. So I found this vase, and right now it is looking a little, as I like to call, brownie frowny. Nothing special about this piece, but I can see this piece transformed into something really eye-catching, really cool, really shabby, and just give it a little ba-ba-ba-boom. So stay tuned. Let's get ready to flip. Alright, so if you've been watching me here, my vlog on my channel, you know that I love to use napkins as a part of a way to decorate a piece, right? It's great especially if you're not good at drawing or sketching, that sort of thing. And I really like napkins compared to even scrap paper or harder paper and things like that because it's just so forgiving, easy to work with, and it's so thin that it does great things when you need to put it around like things that have curves to it, as an example, versus just entirely flat surfaces, right? Because I like a little bit of scrap paper too, but it's just so much easier to work with. So today I have a basket of napkins that's been kicking around my shop. I have tons of napkins. These just happen to be in my line of sight, and so I'm going to make use of them. When you get your napkins, you're going to notice on the very top it's going to say like how many ply they are, and by ply what they mean is how many parts make up your napkin. So I've got a few napkins that I've already broken down here, but just so that you guys kind of get an idea of how it works, this is going to be so pretty. Okay, so when I put this on here, I'm going to have a little bit of that brown show through the background. So if you, you know, basically whatever color your background is, that's what's going to show through any of those lighter parts of your napkin, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and tear these apart. So in this case, this is 3-ply. 1, 2, 3 parts make up this napkin, okay? So what I'm going to do is just tear off the top layer because that is the part that I want to be able to work with. If I left these, basically these pieces on the back, my design will get all really bunched up and I'd start to see white tissue, and you know, when I Mod Podge these down, it's got all those layers to work through, okay? So I don't like that. I like a really light design on top of my, whether it's my signs, my furniture, in this case, a piece of decor. So we're gonna go ahead and get rid of all this, okay? We can use that later to wipe our hands with. So an idea would be like if you're gonna do, in this case I'm gonna do like a patchwork sort of style for this DIY. So a lot of times when you want something to look all the same color, maybe start collecting napkins that, like, you know, this is my pink stash, this is my yellow stash, this is my blue stash. And then when you want to do multiple designs, just pick from that same color stash and it'll give you designs, but it'll stay within a certain color family, right? In this case, I've got a little bit of everything in my basket. Today I'm just feeling like a little bit of everything, although I do like the idea of lots of roses and butterflies. So we'll start there and see where it goes, okay? So now what I'm going to do is take my napkin, a little bit got in my corner of Mod Podge right here. Can you see here? This is just my plate of Mod Podge here. So my favorite kind of Mod Podge when I'm DIYing is matte, M-A-T-T-E, and it's because I'm a shabby painter. I love distressed furniture, time-worn furniture, and you guys know that old furniture is not shiny. So that's why I tend to go with matte, M-A-T-T-E, okay? You guys can probably hear lots of packing and shipping going on in the background. It is at packing and shipping time here at the Junk Monkey, so all your Happy Mail is getting out to you guys, right? So now we're going to take our Mod Podge and we're just going to start wherever we want to lay that napkin down. You want to work fast because this is glue and this is summertime right now, so things are going to dry really fast, right? But what I want to start doing is just putting that down and then using my brush to over the top of it, not your fingers, because when you use your brush, what happens is your fingers, it can stick onto to your fingers, right? And before you know it, you're not happy. So I'm just going to go ahead and start like putting some roses all over here, just kind of randomly, wherever I want it to fall. So I'm using this old tin vase that I found for really cheap. I love it, and I'm going to make use of this today. But for this project, I mean, you could think about putting it on anything. This would also be very beautiful. This technique that I'm sharing with you guys today will be very beautiful, even on like a pair of candlesticks or something like that. So you don't have to just think about furniture for when you're using the napkin technique. Just think about any place that you can put the napkins. And I love the fact when I'm using napkins that it gives me that bunching. Okay, that makes it, just gives me that old bunching up kind of look and gives me some texture, makes it interesting to the eye. That's not going to work like this if you just use plain scrap paper because it just doesn't have the capability to be able to scrunch. You know what I'm saying? So scrunching is good. And then all the extra glue that you see, that's gonna dry clear. So that's really cool too. All right, so that was really pretty, right? We made use of just 2 napkins. So guys, think about, you know, when you do get a stash of napkins and you're paying like me, like $1.99, $2.99 for a pack, and you're getting them at like the most amazing places like TJ Maxx and Marshalls and Home Goods, because those are stores that have beautiful, beautiful, classy napkins. But when nobody buys them, they go in the discount bin for like $2 for an entire pack. When you think about getting an entire pack for $2 and only using 2 for a project, you guys know how far these really go, right? So now I'm ready to start with another style. So I'm gonna pick maybe a couple styles to put on here, and I'm thinking about what I could see this done into. So let's see here. I do like these as well. I'm thinking I'd love to continue with the roses and make sure I bring out some of the red ones in here. So now I'm gonna pick one other stash of napkins to pair with it that I think would look good. And honestly, I really like this right here. I really like this right here. So I think I'm going to go ahead and use a little bit of this. I believe I've been tearing some off of this one already, as you can see. So this one has already been delayered. And now what I'm going to do is put a little bit of this on as well. So this is a more vibrant one compared to the pink, but it'll give me like a little bit of the sense of that, you know, patchwork, cracked sort of, you know, ceramic style. So I really like that. So I used, I think, all the 3 napkins so far. Now remember, as this dries, what it's going to do is really pull the napkin into it and also completely go clear, right? Which is really, really cool. So I like the bunchiness on this because I remember I'm going for just a little bit more texturized. So I like that about this entire piece. It's not quite done yet, but now I've kind of got to like add my my 3rd style napkins. So when you're doing something like this and you're layering your napkins, I want you to think about, you know, the primary design that you want on your piece is going to be the last napkin that you put on. If you have a napkin that you really, really love, think about the other ones as like the background, and then finalize the look with the napkin of your choice. So if you find, like me, a napkin like this that has beautiful red roses, it's going to go with the navy and it's going to go with the pink, but this is what I want to see the most on here, okay? So this is why I'm choosing to put this one on last. So I'm gonna put a few pieces at the top because at the neck of this vase, you can totally see down into it, right? So I want it to mirror what's on the bottom, on the top. Not quite done with this piece just yet. but I do want to put some on the top. So, you know, here's the time right now. If I wanted to, again, you save like the best for last, okay, in terms of your decorating with napkins. And so if I wanted to, I could, you know, take out some choice butterflies and put on here whatever makes your heart happy. In my case, I'm happy with this because I've got a final thing that I'm going to do to it to bring it all together. But I really wanted this to be kind of like a shabby chic patchwork, really cool piece, textured piece. And so I'm making sure I have lots of Mod Podge on right now, and then we just let it dry and get ready for the very next step. Okay, and this piece is pretty much dry now, guys. You see how what I'm saying is the background is starting to show through all the clear pieces, and actually it will continue to still dry a little bit, really suck in a little bit more. But I'm able, it's dry to the touch, so I'm able to work with it right now. So if you ever want to do like a terracotta, you know, like the broken tile sort of look, find napkins that like make you happy, that you like. Pick the designs and just go with a couple and make them look like broken, okay? Now, I didn't fill this entirely out. You'll still see a few pieces, but that's okay because I have plans to add basically a complementary color on here. So in this case, I'm going to go with white because I'm going to lighten it. Now, I could go with a black and darken this and make this more definitely look more aged. But in this piece, I'm going to keep it a little bit more lighter shabby chic. This is our chalky style paint here, so it pretty much sticks to everything under the sun. So that's what I'm going to use today to go ahead and lighten and brighten and just give it a, you know, basically I just kind of want to do an accent color on here. So I could go with pink, I could go with greens, I could go with navies, anything I want. But in this case, I'm going to go with white. So I'm going to put a little bit out here. Let's see here. I'm going to pour a little bit from my can here. I'm down to the last little bit, but I know that every drop is important, okay? So now what I'm going to do though is not put the white on here full strength. So I'm going to grab a little bit of water. I tend to use these little spray bottles that I get at the dollar store. I use them when I antique and things like that, and I'm using our antiquing glaze. But in this case, I'll also use it to dilute the paint a little bit. So this is important too. It's a good tip out there. For those of you who love our Junk Monkey paint, if there's ever a time where you want to thin it out, just add some water and then just go ahead and blend it, and you'll get a nice thinner consistency of your paint, right? So we have a chunky style paint, but just know that you can do that. And if you've ever seen me here on YouTube, if you do the search for where I do the whitewash of the brick, you'll know that water is something that I use to be able to get that effect. So I don't use my paint at full strength, okay? So I'm just gonna go ahead and add a little bit of water, and do you see on this plate, there is like, it just binds just perfectly, okay? So what I wanna do is really add a lot of white, definitely at the top here. I'm gonna go in with my fingers. I know. So if you have OCD and it's killing you, maybe not do this part, but for me, I'm gonna go ahead and brush a little bit on, and then basically, but if you can get a rag if you want to or something like that. Filling in gaps right now that doesn't have any sort of tissue paper on it, and then from there just kind of spraying it around. But the cool thing is the peaks and the valleys, let me make sure I get that under lip a little bit there. The peaks and the valleys will really help just give me a really cool look. So now I can just put a few little, drops on, and then let's just kind of like, pull that around a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is just in the areas where you see some of the tin there, I'm gonna go ahead and pull the white over that a little bit, so that way I can still see it a little bit, but I also see the white. And so what's gonna happen is the white is going to be the color that coordinates everything else and pulls it all together, okay? So where you see the edges of your actual napkins, that's where you kind of want to trace with your brush and kind of go from there and fill it in, right? Okay, so this is dried right now. A couple of the things we could have done with this is add, like if I want to go sort of like especially aged versus a lighter shabby, would be if I use, for example, some of our brown or our black antiquing glaze. That would be really cool. In this case, like I say, I'm trying to keep it kind of light. So what I'm going to do is use our Monkey Shine, just our clear wax polish, to finish off this guy. And what that's going to do is just kind of revive, give it a little bit of, it'll bring that color back that I whited out a little bit. So now what I'm going to do is just work my way all around it, and it'll go all over, and you'll start to see like colors of the napkins come through, and just a little bit more color pop through. That's one thing I love about our all natural wax, is it really sharpens stuff. And so it's also sealed as well, but it'll really bring some color through and make those napkins really start to pop some of those colors. And I like it too because it's going to show me some more of the brown, that bronzy brown that's behind everything, because everything is getting, you know, soaked and revived right now. So this is a fun step. So when I use our Monkey Shine, I always complement it to buff off any excess wax that hasn't, you know, really absorbed into your piece, into the paper in this case. So these are available on our website at junkmonkeypaint.com. The paint, the rags, the Monkey Shine, all that good stuff. And this is just a nice way to finish it off, give it a professional finish so it has a little bit of sheen to it, but not too much. It's completely sealed, and it really sharpens those colors up. Okay, and voila, we are done. All right, today. So you can really texturize and do all kinds of fun stuff with napkins. So don't just think about it. I know I teach you a lot of times to work it with your furniture and with signs, but never overlook something else that you find maybe at a thrift store that you want to just give a whole new look to. And I think this is pretty darn cool. So you can use it to put whatever you want into it. I just happen to have some twigs and things around the shop, so I'm gonna throw some in here right now, which I kind of like that, right? And then these are some that I have around the shop as well, but you could obviously find some flowers that make you happy. And this would be a really cool piece to put on top of a dresser, just to really stage it with, right? So I could see this on top of a white painted dresser, cream color, antique lace, or vintage white. And then we got ourselves a really cool project, right? So how fun was this? So if you have something at your house right now that you're just tired of looking at, why not try the napkin technique that I just shared with you guys and show me what you come up with, right? Message me whatever you guys decide to do and whatever colors you decide to go with, because the sky is the limit. The only thing that's limiting yourself is what napkins you can get your hands on, right? All right, so it turned out pretty cool, right? So remember, follow us here on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, where there's always a vlog upload, always something happening. Thank you so much, guys, and have a great day. I'll see you again soon.